YouTube should be up now. All right, good. Good. That's great. So, live on YouTube, live on Twitch. It has been a good couple months since I started this, or last did this. Um, I went through some changes. I got a new job. I finally got myself a house, and I'm no longer inside the apartment next to a psychopath, so I can actually stream without like walls getting banged on or anything like that. Um, but while I'm like still moving in and everything, things are still a bit busy on my end. I figure I get everything else set up, especially now I got a nice little standing desk. I don't know if anyone can hear this, but a little exciting. Not sure how useful it'll be for actual art, but I know it'll be pretty good for just like writing in general, which brings up another topic I want to get into. I've been getting into writing more often, especially since I've been reading much more. It's mostly been like Brandon Sanderson novels, but I've been reading the occasional like detective novel and fewer things not related to Brandon Sanderson, other authors and uh, all that. I think the detective novels, those are like Fortune Favors the Dead and Murder Under Skin by Stephen something. I don't have the book on me right now. It's downstairs. But yeah, I've been getting a lot more books recently, and I've been practicing my own writing. And while I do want to like write my own book, I have another idea, which is the reason why you have Gigi on the screen right here. This is going to be a little sprite for a VN novel I'm working on. I'm going to take the webcomic I've been struggling with for the last 2 years, Tales from Hacksborough, and turn it into a visual novel where I can focus more on writing and put art to the side. Not completely, but it's definitely going to be a less noticeable facet. There's going to be more talking characters, talking sprites, more reading. But other than that, see, I don't think the YouTube chat is working. What? No. Yep. Okay, it is. Good. The bot's connected. So anything like that. But what was I getting into? Yeah, the whole project. I'm hoping to be a bit quicker since it'll allow me to get on my shell more when it comes to writing and like adapt. So when I do want to like make a full on book, I have that experience from writing, and I think a very good art for as well because I'll be doing less with comics. I think maybe for like more action scenes and everything like that, so I can get to the good stuff I have in my head that I want to do more than the subtle stuff I've been doing. That's like small actions, little dialogue, not a lot going on because I have to admit I'm not much of a visible shower, especially when it comes to characters that are effectively mute. Like if you read my comic, there's a character called von Wolfgang Koniger. He is effectively mute, and while he's not the focus protagonist like what's his character like the boy basically, you don't know what's going on in his head, and it'd be nice that if I do some writing, I can actually explain what's going on, what he's thinking. If I shift the focus to him or go back a certain way or whatever, it does suck because it took me a while to actually make the first chapter. I am not used to writing and getting out of that shell and just basically putting that out there and actually writing down my thoughts and everything. It's different from actually art. And I'm nervous. But yeah, it's a whole new process, and I'm hoping like once I'm just writing and doing chapters and such, I'll be able to like go elsewhere, so I'm not stuck at a desk every time. It's nice what I have now with a standing desk because now I don't have to be hunched over a monitor all the time, and worrying about my posture, or worrying I might collapse over my own weight. But yeah, yeah. So this is going to be your neutral pose. I have other ones. I'm going to be adjusting this one, like fix your eyes, fix this. But for more dynamic poses, let me open it up. Let's see. There. So you got a neutral pose. It hasn't been edited yet. Then it has her thinking, her anger, her sadness pose. I need to put the color into these ones. That way it looks like the veins are popping versus like this one here. She's a bit sad, so it's gonna be like blue lines with these black lines. And then we got some dynamic poses. We have her floppy ears up, surprise, and then this is just her irritated pose afterwards, like oh, prick, or why'd you do that, or that kind of thing. And I'm basically going to be taking these little characters and modifying them here and there so they have a bit more dynamic thing to them. And I don't know if I'll edit these later to change her outfit or any. At least want to, because character wise, she's going to go from being a goblin from the capital, which is this royal city in my setting, to being adapted into Hag Sparrow, the Dieselpunk city. So she's going to be different when I return to her in a future chapter, if I get to that point. I kind of hoping like when I get all this work done and get like a decent chapter out, I could see some success. I don't deny that the idea of just creating for creative sake is pretty good, but when you're just creating a comic for a couple hours, or not a couple hours, a couple of years, and not see much traction, especially for an original project like this. I of course had a lot more success with Vampire, I guess my first comic on Webtoons, because I was basing it off of a different setting, which I'll be honest, I didn't have too much detail in. I just only knew what I knew from like some of the vampire games I have played. But this one, I have a lot of faith in when it comes to like this setting, these characters, because a lot of the characters are based off of people I have played with, people I have spent time with, and their characters that I would rather them have the spotlight than just being left to our own imaginations. Because they're like very nice characters. Like Wolfgang, he was my character in this Invisible Sun game, and he had such a thrilling story for someone who was basically effectively like mute, and he grew a bond with Iroas. There it is, Iroas, the boy, and also like Dolly as well, and it became a whole thing. Those are probably my favorite like characters I've done with Manny's group, and a few other ones I wanted to take care of. I know I won't be seeing him for a while because he's probably gonna be like chapter 4, and that's Tazaha. He's from our latest game that took us like 2 years to finish, and I feel like his story arc never got finished. I'm hoping when it comes to like what I'm doing here, when it gets to him, he's going to be basically continuing where he left off after this time skip from his story side, and then basically continuing forward on his hero's journey in a way. But those are the ideas I have so far. I'm mostly just taking this one chapter at a time. I'm sure eventually, yeah, eventually it'll take off, I think. Because I'm thinking about playing the first chapter on Steam. And then I think the other one is like Twitch.io, where it's just downloadable from a thing. And if I can get some traction there, I can get a website on and then do a web only version. And I think that'll appeal for some people as well, where they just have some artwork and a wall of text that they just read, like, I guess, Homestuck in a way. But I think that's all I have to say for right now. Right now, I'm just busy thinking all this set up. I think it's all settled with a YouTube and Twitch stream, so I can just focus on art. I think when it comes to her, I already got this all set up, so I'm going to be taking so I already got her neutral there. I'm going to get a new file. No, I'm going to do new copy. It's interesting drawing standing because this is probably the first time I've actually done this. But honestly, it actually works out. I'm kind of glad I put the standing desk on wheels because that gives us a few extra more inches, which I appreciate so much. It's hard being like 6'3" and standing on this right in front of this desk. So I mean, those few extra inches is just nice. So I'm just gonna grab that. Let's see. This is pretty much what I've been doing. And let's see here. That's over there. I'm going to take the eyes, general head shape off of her. Oops. Still need to find like a good sound option I can like have while I'm drawing. I say I want is to just have like I don't know. Have something copyrighted playing and all of a sudden the audio just gets cut directly. I could probably do for like the stream is just find some free audio and then have that play with you guys and I have my own music to listen to. I don't know. Don't know. So let's see. Copy, paste. Looks kind of weird right now. I figured there'd be some physical fuckery. Looks all right. A little bit off. think since I also moved to a new place as well, I could probably take my PlayStation, put it on the desk, and then maybe find some way to connect it so I can do some content from there. Maybe play some like Blood Bowl on stream, or I don't know, God of War or something. Something on PlayStation as exclusive, I guess. Because I've been getting back into like Blood Bowl and such, and it is still as fun as ever. Yeah. Still shifts a bit. And I think that'll do for just general look. Well, less complicated than I expect. Went through it. But yeah, I'll shift a little bit, but I don't care much anymore. I think it's going to be a pain in the ass when I do our outfits and I think about it. So I probably have to do this on the other page and make a big like sprite sheet. And I haven't worked on like game pixel sprites in a long time, so I think my experience doing that will help me out there. You know, these are more traditional drawings and such. Uh, Close to the first 30 minutes of the stream, not for YouTube, but for Twitch. Things are looking good on the streaming end. I hope anyone watching is entertained. Although I know I'm mostly just talking to echo chamber. Oh well. Someday. Best I can do is just worry about the stuff I can do and put everything else aside. So now I got all that fused together. It's gonna be a good time to shade it. And what I usually do to get that, I think they call it firework, or they call it just circle patterns, or whatever. Like what you see on my Twitch background, my character and such, is I use the Halftone Machine by True Grit Textures. Yeah, True Grit Texture Supply. That's actually what I use for a lot of my like equipment, my line art, my coloring, and everything. Pretty good stuff, honestly. I think there's a new set of brushes. I'm not too sure about buying. Maybe. I'm trying to be more conscious about my money spending right now. But basically, what I do is just take the copy of like a full image, put it into there, and the halftone I use is just dot the last dot one because it has a more vintage look in my opinion, a better look. And I rendered it flat and black. And I'll take that and bring it back to this copy, put it on the layer above, so it looks pretty gritty. And then multiply, put it on to 30. And that's usually my whole process when it comes to making characters these days. I think it looks good, lit or different, look at some highlights. Here's stuff. Oh, I don't use multiply, I use the overlay. And explains it. There, now it's a lot better. I know with some of my characters, I usually get the dots on the like borderline. I think they have it on Wayne here, a little sheep guy. But I don't know, and I didn't have a good enough time getting of these characters, which isn't that bad. That's actually could be pretty helpful once everything's together because everything else has that same dot like texture, kind of like a comic book. So if I have a character that has a more bold white line, that'll help separate them from the background, other than like color and such. Which is another thing I need to work on. Like once I get the characters done, I'm gonna have to do the backgrounds, and then some of the comic stuff, the comic panels, because that's another thing I want to do with that. And they explained it over with the action scenes, and then afterwards, not too sure what else. A cool thing with the first chapter, and I think I'm going to try this with like some of the other chapters, is while the story is linear, there is only one ending. There's going to be one story to like reads into. There's going to be like branching paths that basically do the same thing. And part of the reason why chapter one is going to be a big one is because I want to show off a little bit and basically going to have Gigi take three different paths that show three different sections of the city, or like something spooks her and she goes back into that straight path that takes her to the weapon shop. You know, since this is going to be basically a redo of my webcomic with a bunch of other details and whatnot. So, yeah, that's the second one done. Look. I still see the head wiggle. Now that I got this out of the way, it's going to be a lot easier getting expressions. Because thankfully the lines are disconnected from the colors, and I'll be able to take those colors and take the lines and change expressions a bit. So I think first things first, I'm going to take the whole look animation, copy that again, and this one will be more angry, or at least, no. This one will be more like a frown, I think. Like, not really sad like the ones I did, but like, I was already hear that kind of thing. So I'm gonna take our vector layer and frown. Like that. Does that look? I was worried about that. Okay, this is gonna be more complicated than I thought. Damn it. So the issue here is the shade assist got underneath the lines, and while it looks good by just the lines underneath, it's going to leave a shadow where the lines used to be. So that means I'm going to have to take the whole drawing again and do shade assist and get the whole dotted textures thing just to make it look good. Which, it's whatever. I'm here to draw, I'm not here to complain. So I'm going to get rid of that dotted texture because that's where it is. Actually, I think all I have to do is take the dotted texture out. I don't have to do the shade assist. So forget my complaining. I'm just being a fuckhead. So I get that chin back. This is what happens when I take a break from drawing. I forget the stuff I'm supposed to know. I think the mic is still picking me up. Okay, yes. Just making sure my limiter's just barely hitting red, so the voice is coming out good. I think one of the first things I'm going to do with the office here is definitely put more foam up, because while I'm out of the apartment now, I am in a duplex, technically speaking, and I hate to be too loud for the neighbor next door. Especially as it's getting closer to 9 o'clock. So I'm going to be quiet now and just continue drawing. Probably be on for another 30 minutes, just to show what's going on with the process. Then I'll just jizz on the side for a bit. Hopefully work on our character, but we'll see. A stream of better hours. That I get sad. It'd be interesting splicing this head onto thinking post. It's funny because I got the looking from that and I'm just transposing back like a weird fucked up Frankenstein. Got that done. Visible layers, do a copy. That, halftone machine. Delete you. And boom. Magic number is 30. Yep, 30. And boom. Sad. Gotta change these up a bit. I'll see how much time I have tomorrow and the weekend. Do more drawing. That or gaming. Not too sure. But we'll see. We'll see. Oh, got that all set up. Oh, someone touched the lemon. I mean, licked a lemon. Yeah, I don't think I'll be used for a puckered face. I think I'll just make this one more intrigued. The eyes look kind of derpy. Hope not. Look okay from afar. There's a lot of work. I don't want to change it again. There's going to be a size on the screen. Yeah, it looks okay. I'm just tired. I think she'll be better with smirk. That looks a bit better. That's expression is done. Get that done roughly an hour plus, not roughly an hour, less than an hour, plus me just talking. I think that'll do for now. Just show you what I've been up to and what I'm going to be doing. Not sure if we return with GG particularly. If I can get these done quick, then I like to start working on Morg. That or the Stoutling, or here are the ones I'm going to need. So people have a visual and everything, who's talking, who's looking at who, that kind of thing. And yeah, I think that'll be it. Thanks all who watched. I know there's nobody in the chat right now, but I'm sure there's gonna be some people in the future watching this. But hope you guys enjoyed. I'll probably come back tomorrow or come back hopefully sooner than last time.